Hello, I'm Selena. Welcome to Selena's Crafty Lab, and today we're going to talk to you about something a little bit different. Rather than talking about HTV, we are going to talk about vinyl. Yes, that's correct, vinyl. Now, vinyl has its place and it has its purpose, and there are many different things that you can do with vinyl, but you are limited depending on material as to what you can make. Now, I currently own a Cricut maker. And I am using a matte with mine. I don't have the matteless option, which the Maker 3 does have, which I am eventually going to get to, but currently I am having to use a matte. And the matte size goes from 11.5 inches to 23.5 inches. So that's the largest matte that you can use in the Cricut Maker machine. I'm going to show you how you can use your maker and your vinyl, and you can create a large canvas and be able to put it into Cricut Design Space, break it down, put it all together in a simplified way that you're going to walk away with a beautiful project that's on a large scale, just using your maker and your mat. So what we're going to do is going to jump on over into Cricut Design Space, and we're going to put our project together and we're going to see how we go. Okay, so we're in Cricut and we're going to go new project, and I'm just going to do a blank canvas. I'm going to just go grab some images that I've already put in here. So we've got some paint, so I've got a red splodge, purple one, green one, orange one, and blue. Okay. And I want to type in here, what's already in here? Paint bottles. These ones. Add those. And pencils. I'll choose these ones. Okay. I'm going to close this bar, and I'm just going to expand our window out a bit. Oopsie. So you can see these are the things we're going to use. I'm going to use this one, and these paint splodges are all way too big, so I'm just going to shrink them down to roughly where I want them to be. Oops. Okay. So, put you back to there. And this one. And the red one. Oh, we've got one more to get, which is our yellow one. Still shrink you down a little bit more. And then we're going to get a yellow one, and just paint splatter. And I want red, yellow, sorry. So paint splatter yellow, and leave that one there. Okay. Obviously it's not fit. I'm going to make it fit. We'll edit these all a little bit after we kind of get a rough idea of the size of our canvas that we're working with. So anyhow, that's kind of how it's going to look. Then I'm going to have these. I'm just going to rotate them. I'm going to flip them this way, and we're going to shrink them down. And we're going to duplicate them. You can do it like this, or you can just press Alt and drag it across. Okay, I'm going to line those up. Align them in the center. Okay, so that's those, and we're going to put wording in here. Go to text, and we're going to start typing Selena's. And Might do it in separate text. The box. Crafty. And one more. Okay, he's gonna go over here. Now I'm just gonna pick my lettering. And the one I recently used was this one here. So the lettering I've chosen for that is Belegua Standard Regular, and we're going to do the same on all of them. And because I just click recent, I click on it. There we go. There's our writing done. I'm just going to resize it and make it look a bit better. And these are going to be a little bit, I'm not going to sit straight, I don't want them to sit straight on my object. I actually think I'll do this one this way a bit. Okay, so we need to know roughly what size our canvas is going to be. So we're going to go to shapes, we're going to get a square, and I'm just going to measure my canvas. Okay, so I'm just going to unlock it up here. Our width is 75.5 and our height is 81. There we go, there's our canvas. We'll just zoom out. I'm going to change the colour with that colour, and we're going to arrange it by sending it to send to back. So these are all our little images here. These are what we're going to want to fit on our canvas. So I'm going to stretch this out. I'm going to try to maximize. Now it tells me here, there's a little eye that says the maximum that it can go to. So it's telling me this one here, these ones, it won't let me do those any bigger. So the way to fix that is I'm going to take them away and I'm going to duplicate them like this. So I have two, and then I'm going to take a little square and we're actually going to slice this to separate it. So I'll just go like that. I want these ones, so shift in there. Okay, so make sure you're highlighting the right ones. Go down to the bottom right here and click slice. Now you can take those away. So now you've got one here. This one cut down to size. This is just so we can see what it looks like. Obviously we're going to have to piece this together later. And we're going to do the same thing again with another square. And we're just going to cut out these ones. Our shift key. And this, so highlighting the two and slice. I'm going to take those away. Now, if you look at the symbols on here, notice there's no longer a red mark telling us that there's too many. So we can cut them out now on our out of our canvas, which is good. So these are just sort of roughly aligned. That's obviously not center, but that's good enough. And then we're going to get our little splodges and we're going to expand those to make them a little bigger. I just have to zoom in, touch, see. These are our splatters of paint. And you can resize these to pretty much whatever you want them to be and position them however. And don't worry about the colors, because at present none of these colors, like you might notice this blue doesn't match this blue, but we're going to fix that when we go over to our mats at the end. Okay, so these are all our tubes with our colors, and now we're going to grab our name. We're going to bring it down. Oopsie, actually we're going to pick it up as a group is what we're going to do, because we want it to shift and click on all of them and then move it together, because that's how I want it to look. stretch it out. Let's just zoom out so you can see our whole mat. There we go, this mat's been moved, so let's put it back. And that's kind of how I want my lettering to look. And then we're going to grab these. Now these I'm going to make bigger. About that size. So we're just going to delete these ones we've duplicated. Click Alt and you're going to drag across. And Alt, drag across. Alt, drag across. Alt, drag across. Okay. And we're just going to bring these across so they look a little bit tidier. Okay, let's do that, align vertically again. Okay. So this is how it's going to look when we're finished. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to check everything. So all our pencils are good, there's no warning signals. All our sliced results are good, there's no warning signals. All of these here are the same. We've got a warning signal on our square, but that doesn't matter because we're actually not going to use that. So we're going to close that. We don't need that square right now because we're finished with it. Now we're going to go over to make it. So we're going to hit make and save. We're going to save our project and save. And so now you're going to see your mats. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, there's a lot of mats going on there. We do not need 21 mats. So we're going to start at the top. Now our grey we're going to leave as is. This one here is our black mat. Am I happy with the way it's positioned? I can probably edit it a bit, so I might be able to rotate you around. Let's see if we can make you fit better on our mat. Nope, that's where that's going to have to cut, so that's fine. This piece here we can probably rotate and position a bit better. Make it fit on here nicely, so you're not wasting too much of your material. And I might actually bring you down. Okay, and then we're going to turn this one and place it there. Okay, just making sure nothing is touching. So just check, make sure none of your letters are touching, nothing's past the red border, and that looks good. So that mat I'm happy with. Now we're going to go to this one. This is our red pencils, and you'll notice that when we go down here, our red, we've also got a red splodge, and they're all on different mats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, I'm going to go move object, I'm going to move it to this main mat, like this, and click confirm. So now this is on this mat here. I'm going to find my next red object, which is down the bottom again, this one. Click on here, move object, move to my main mat, and confirm. This is because all our colours are different, but now when you cut them out, they'll all be the same colour on the same piece of vinyl. So now we've got one mat with red, which I'm happy with. So now we're going to go to our orange mat. And we're going to move this one, move object to our first mat, and click confirm. And so now that one is on there, and then we're going to go down to our next mat here, and we're going to click shift and click on all of them, so it highlights them all, move object to our orange mat, and confirm. Now it's going to tuck it behind everything, so it's actually easier just to pick up your other objects and move them rather than the little individual ones. And make sure that it doesn't use up too much of our mat. Okay, so our machine is on. So it set us into mats 1, mat 2, mat 3, mat 4, mat 5, mat 6, mat 7, mat 8 and mat 9 instead of 16 or so mats like we had before. So we're going to start on 1, and our first mat is grey, and you can see it measures down to 31 on the mat. So as I put my vinyl down, I want to make sure it fits nicely on there, and I'm going to then go to browse all materials, and I'm going to type in vinyl. I'm using value vinyl, which is this bottom one here. So I'm going to click on that and click done. And I've tested this material, and I find if I put it on less pressure, it cuts much better. So I'm going to do that. And then once all that's done, I'm going to press the button on machine, and we're going to get going and send that one off. Right, now that one's done. Now we're on our next mat. Exact same thing. Load your material into your machine and press your buttons. If you've already set your settings, so in here for example, on this one, material I had set already, if I click remember material settings, as I go down to my next one, it will keep those settings and I won't have to write them in every time. Okay, so I've clicked that, and now we're going to put that mat into the machine. Okay, that one's done. Now we're on to our red. We're going to do the same thing. As you can see, it's still remembered what we're going to use. I'm going to put it into the machine, and we're going to send that through. Now we're on to our orange mat, and we're going to do the same thing with our orange mat, send that through. Everything's the same, so we don't need to worry about changing our settings. Okay, now we're on to our tan mat. This is our little pencil lead, bits, chips of wood, sorry, our little wood from our pencil. Now we're going to cut those out, so we send that into our machine, and everything is still the same because we don't need to reset it, it's already set. I'm probably going to speed it up from here because it's all pretty much the same as we go through. Okay, so now that's all done, we're going to hit cancel, and we're going to head over to the overhead camera, and we're going to start putting this together. Alright, this is where we get into the transfer tape. So you get your transfer tape, you measure it to size, make sure you're not using too much because this stuff is expensive and you don't want to waste it, trust me, you want to keep it, and you layer it on top of your vinyl and slowly pull it off of its backing, and then continue to do that, giving it a rub and peeling it off its backing. Try not to stick it to the table, which I did a couple of times. But thankfully it's easy peel and it comes back off again. But I've popped a little video up in the corner of me doing it as well, because you'll notice that every now and then I get out of frame and you actually can't see what I'm doing. So I have put that in there as a reference so you can see me piecing it together, one little piece at a time on our transfer tape, and then once it's done, popping it to the side. So I'll just let you watch me do this. Okay, now I'm working on the larger letters. I've got my big sheet of transfer tape and my scraper. I'm going to push that liner off, and I'm going to really rub those letters. I want to burnish it on there because otherwise you have the chance of it not coming off when you're trying to peel the letters off. I flip it over and I roll off my backing paper away from my sheet or from my liner, and that makes it easier for the letters to come off of your backing paper and onto your transfer sheet. Once I've done that, I then put my backing paper from my transfer sheet back on, because obviously I've got more letters to do and I don't want my letters to stick to anything until I'm ready to apply them to my canvas. And we're going to do this one, so we'll do one more with you. And you can see this is where I'm missing the other part of the C, and this is where I do a little bit of crafty fixer-upper. I'll peel off that one and swap them around because that's the piece that somehow I messed up when I was cutting it. That's okay, we're not going to waste this, we're going to continue using the piece we have, and we're just going to edit it and make it work. So I peel this off, stick it onto my transfer sheet, lining it up nicely. And it sticks to my table, so I'm going to pop that little transfer sheet back on behind it to stop it doing that. Get my new piece of transfer tape and rub that on, burnishing it nicely in as I go, because I really want those letters to stick to my transfer tape. So give it a good burnish, turn it over. Sometimes it helps to burnish the back as well. I haven't in this video, but normally I do, and it does help when you're trying to pull your letters off, because you'll notice that it's cut through a little bit into my liner, and so sometimes those little white pieces is where the liner is sticking. So just a little bit of moving around helps, and you can actually get that piece of transfer backing off of your sticky paper. And then we're going to cover it back with a transfer sheet, and then we're going to get stuck into applying it. Okay, so this is a sped up version of me setting up my sign. So I'll just start placing everything down, putting them in color coordination. I've got my phone so that I can make sure that everything looks correct, because I want to refer back to the image, make sure I've done it correctly. I'm just going to peel and stick everything down. It's pretty straightforward, you know really what's happening here. I'm just going to keep going, peeling and sticking everything down, and then you're going to get to see the end result. Now it starts to get a little bit dark, start losing lighting, so I have to actually use my phone to see what I'm doing. So turn my light on and keep placing down my extra pieces. Now we're going to do our big letters. I got to my last one, decided I need one more, so I printed off one more. And there you go, we're all done. So there you go, we've got to the end of that project. Wasn't that fun? I hope you learned a lot. There was all sorts of different steps going along in that video, but didn't we end up with a beautiful project at the end? I'm so thrilled that I was able to put this together for you and do it in a way that you were able to view online, and hopefully you learned something from this new episode. So if you did, don't forget to like and hit that bell, and also make sure that you pop a comment in the description below, because I'm sure if there's something you'd like me to have a look at or possibly try or test out for you, I'd be more than happy to do that. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope you all had a lovely day, and everybody continue crafting. Bye.